Hi business creators, it's Claire from Claire, and today I want to talk about the limits we place on ourselves when we're scared of registering for taxes. So, does the thought of having to deal with taxes hold your business back? Have you mentally set your income limit to stay under that GST or VAT or sales tax threshold? Now, if you have, you've created what I call a GST threshold mindset limit, which is another money block to add to your list. Now, this comes up when we think that staying under the registration threshold, which is $75,000 in Australia, means that you are somehow safe from potential dangers of having to keep your finances in order, having to keep your bookkeeping up to date, having to manage your cash flow. Like, honestly, if these things are driving your behavior, whether consciously or unconsciously, you've set up a mindset limit or a block to earning more than that threshold, more than 75,000. And if you work it out, which we're going to in just a second, you'll find it doesn't actually leave you very much as a living wage. So 75,000 may seem like a significant amount, and it is a significant business income, but is it enough? So firstly, as we're talking business, we have to talk expenses. And for most service-based businesses, I'd suggest 10% is a fairly reasonable, maybe slightly low estimate. So if we're staying under the threshold, 10% would give us $7,499 to cover all your business expenses. So home office use, stationery, a couple of subscriptions, maybe like a chunky training program or a course. If you're at that stage, maybe some outsourcing, business admin, stuff like fees that you pay on payments, bank fees, and maybe some networking or mindset support. Now, obviously, the specific dollar figure is going to differ based on your business model. If we start talking product-based businesses, it's up as high as 30%. And also remember, for every additional amount you spend on business expenses means less available for you as take-home pay. So review your expenses, and if they're greater than 10%, you have to kind of flow that through the rest of this example. So with a 10% taken away for business expenses, it leaves us $67,500 as take-home pay. Well, not quite, because we have to deduct income taxes. This again is going to depend on your specific circumstances, impacted by things like dependents, Medicare levy offsets, super contributions, lots of different things. But an average figure on 67,500 would be around 12,500, which leaves us 55,000 as take-home pay. Another caveat though, if you think retirement is important, you're going to want to contribute at least something to your superannuation or your retirement savings. Now in Australia, the government mandated rate for employees is 10% of total pay. But we'll drop that down a little bit to be conservative, and let's say it's 10% of that take-home figure, which was 55,000. So another 5,500 that we've earned that isn't actually available to us until some future point in time. So with those three major things taken out, business expenses, taxes, and superannuation, we're left with just under $50,000 per year, which works out to be about $950 per week, to cover all of your living expenses, any savings, any investments, anything for unexpected expenses, like when your car needs to be fixed. So working that to an hourly rate, if you're working, say, 25 hours a week, that's around $40 per hour. Now, is that what you started a business for? Because I'm fairly sure there are less risky, less confronting, less intensive, more stable ways to earn $45 an hour and get paid for holidays and get paid superannuation. Now, if $75,000 isn't the relevant threshold for you, for your country, for your taxes, I would encourage you to do a similar calculation and see what you would have as weekly pay after expenses, taxes, and retirement savings. And again, if your expenses, taxes, or retirement savings are different to this example, work it out. But less than $1,000 a week, is that what you want to be targeting if you're scared of GST? So, the key question, how can you unlock that GST threshold mindset limit? So the first step with any fear or limiting belief or block is to start believing it's safe, that the world isn't going to end, that our business isn't going to fall apart, that we're not going to get into trouble if we get to that point of needing to register. And I encourage you to want to get to that point of needing to register. So we can start by practicing, and what you practice is going to depend on what fears you need to address. So if the main fear for you is around keeping things up to date, particularly your bookkeeping, then make regular appointments, make sure it gets prioritized, and start keeping your records up to date. And with GST in particular, I would say use a software, not a spreadsheet. An Australian-based software, even better. If your main fear is having to increase your prices, 10% in Australia up to 28% in India, then slowly start increasing your prices now. A few percent this month, another few percent in another few months, and slowly come to that 10% increase so that you're at that price. The price is the GST is factored into your price, and there's no big surprise and you're not suddenly charging your clients more money. If your main fear is having the cash, that's a big one, cash flow to pay the tax bill, then start a separate GST account. When money comes in, immediately take 10% or the relevant percentage for you and transfer that to your GST account. And also, if you're able to, you could contribute a little bit extra just so you have a bit of a buffer in that account to ease that worry. And even if you're not registered, you can start it as a practice. Maybe not 10% straight away, maybe it's just a few percent to start easing into knowing you can save the cash to pay the tax bill. Now, the last one I'll cover, if your main fear around this is not understanding what you need to do. What is GST? What does that mean for your business? What does that mean for your record keeping? Then start researching, start addressing the gaps in your knowledge. Talk to a bookkeeper or an accountant, or talk to someone you trust who understands taxes in a way that they can explain them to you so that you understand without all the jargon, without going too far. Just really make it relevant for you. And if you need to chat about that, please just let me know. So by starting to do these practices before you need to register, you're going to not only ease those troubling thoughts, you'll not need to panic because you'll be ready when your registration date comes. You'll have the bookkeeping system and the bookkeeping habit in place. You'll have the cash flow habit. You'll have an idea of exactly what it is you need to do. Maybe not the specifics, but a really good general understanding. And you will have your prices at a point where you're comfortable that it includes an element of GST. So, have you unwittingly or consciously subscribed to the GST threshold mindset limit? Is it safe for you to earn more than $75,000 or whatever your limit is? And I would encourage you to think about what's the main fear that's driving this that you need to start addressing, that you need to start practicing dealing with so you can unlock that limit and your business can thrive. If this video has been useful, I'd love you to give me a thumbs up and comment and let me know what's your biggest fear around registering for GST. And you can subscribe for more content like this on visibility, imposter syndrome, and mindset, including money for solopreneurs. And if you need my help to tackle the GST threshold mindset limit, it's a bit of a mouthful, then reach out for a free chat about how we could work together.